What is good, guys? It's Ronald, also known as Youcapper from sportsmemo.com. Got my guy Austin Wang, A Wang underscore HTX on Twitter. You can see his work on Action Network. Some of his stuff was published on NBA.com, NBABet.com. And now he has something else up his sleeve. He's been working on some stuff. I think it's Dub Club, right,
Yep,
Austin?
Dub Club. That's right.
Yeah, he has like a newsletter and all that stuff. I mean, he puts out a lot of good information. You want before we get into the slate today, you want to talk a little bit about your Dev Club?
Sure. Yeah. No, it was just a great opportunity. I really like their platform to be able to, hey, write articles, share my trends, articles, and then in sort of a newsletter form. I also, write analysis and make picks. And you guys know, I provide a very extensive breakdown. So the link is in my Twitter
Yeah.
bio, offering, a trial for my picks and my analysis as we go through the WNBA playoffs. So you're going to get some good information there. Sign up and check it out.
Yeah, no. If you guys seen his work on Action Network, he was probably. I'm pretty sure. I'm not. I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm pretty sure your record on NBA in Action Network with all your articles was probably one of the best over at Action Network, right? Don't they keep track of that stuff?
Well, yeah. I'm not exactly sure compared to all the others, but I did pretty well. Some of the games, especially the season before this past season, a little over 50%. But the last season, I did really well.
Yeah, I remember because when I was reading those, they were like super. You had angles in there that I didn't even know existed. Like I mean, like a lot of the capping stuff that you do too. Like especially with the NBA, you do a lot of like ball movement type stuff, like assist to turnover ratios on your
I love that.
systems, and those are pretty dope because I don't look at that angle too often, but whenever you bring that up, and then it shows how specific teams play defense against those types of offenses, it makes a lot of sense. So you definitely opened my eyes to a lot of different angles in capping NBA for sure.
Appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah,
especially this year with Gimme the Dog, they started including defensive efficiency, offensive efficiency,
yeah,
pace. So that was like a game changer, getting to play around with some of those parameters. And obviously, those are very important to capping the NBA, along with the assist to turnover ratio, offensive rebounding percentages, all these metrics that are crucial to a basketball team success.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. So that you guys, I know you guys seen Austin Wang a few times here. He's usually on here every Friday. We typically have YBB on here, but his schedule has kind of messed up the routine. Hopefully, we can get him back on here once in a while. But right now, every Friday, me and Austin Wang will be rocking here, and then during the NFL season, I don't know if you guys know this, but we entered the NFL Circle Millions contest together. So hopefully we get to break down those games every Friday as well, moving forward into the NFL season. Yes, I'm super excited about that. I know I'm gonna be out of town the first couple weeks of the NFL season, so Austin's gonna have to run with it without me. But we'll see how it goes. We're prepping for that. We just before the show we were talking about week one plays already.
Hmm.
Man, I'm just super excited for that. But yeah, with that said, man, let's get into some bets today. I think one game that we were both looking at today was in the MLB, Rangers versus the Twins. So right here, I brought up Spodevs. You can see we got Martin Perez. A lot of the cappers out there are man. I think a lot of us have cash with Martin Perez lately, especially when he's on the road. You can see his numbers here: 16-7, 2.79 ERA, 1.2 WHIP. On the other side, you got Dylan Bundy, kind of going the opposite direction: 8-12 on the record, 4.76, 1.26 WHIP. If we look at their splits here, you can see Bundy actually does really well at home, 2.83 ERA, but record wise, 4-3. Martin Perez, like we talked about on the road, has been super dominant, 10-1 on the road, 2.97 ERA. And then if we look at the home road splits on the batting side of it, Twins, they tend to struggle at home against lefties. Rangers struggle on the road against righties. And last five, a little bit of the same, right? They're struggling here. They're struggling here. Bullpen wise, if we go to home road split full season, Rangers a little bit better on the road than the Twins are at home. A lot of things here are pointing in one direction, Austin. But if we go to Give Me the Dog, we start to see a little bit of a different story. Go ahead and break down what you're seeing in this game.
Sure. And yeah, you're right. Right on the surface, you're looking at this starting pitching matchup, and Martin Perez, he's been one of the lone bright spots for the Texas Rangers, and he's been a beast this season, especially on the road. You look at that 10-1 record for the Rangers when he makes his starts, and Dylan Bundy, he got a lot of negative perception there, and Dylan Bundy is Dylan Bundy, and not easy to back. But if you kind of dig into some of the splits and the stats, Dylan Bundy at home, if you look at the first 5, the Twins are 6-0 with one push in the first 5 at home. If you look at just the Twins in general, I'll let you pull it up so you can see it.
All right, so I pulled up Dylan Bundy at home. You can see that split here, 6-0-1 on the first 5 money line, regardless of whether he's a favorite or a dog. 6-1 on the run line there. There's that split that you're talking about, 4.29 runs for the Twins versus 1.14 for their opponents when Dylan Bundy is pitching at home. And you can see some of the teams that he's faced: Mariners, Yankees, White Sox, Blue Jays, Rockies here. It's not like he faced Cole here and they were able to put up 7, even in a loss. Doing that against Cole is pretty impressive there. And then were you going to bring up the Twin side?
Yeah, just Twins. They've really
Rangers.
Really well in the first 5, and just they've been able to get out to some hot starts and get their pitchers some run support earlier in the game. So if you just right off the bat just put in Twins at home and look at their first 5 record as compared to their overall record, you see that they perform a lot better in the first 5.
33-20-6.
33-20-6. That's 62.3%. And their favorite at home, they're 27-11-4 in the first 5. So if you add them in as a home favorite.
Yep. So that and this is a large sample size too. Just a simple home favorite query.
Yeah, so you can see there. Yeah, they're getting that run support in the first 5 innings.
You're a right-handed pitcher. Yeah. No, lefty. Okay, let's look at lefty. And this is the home favorite against starting lefties. And you can see that 1.7, 1.8 gap right there on the split. 8-2-1 on the first 5 money line.
What is this? How did you break this one down?
Home favorite, and then opponent is a left-handed pitcher.
Great. Yeah, I didn't even dig down that deep. So, but that looks great.
Yep. So that's that. And then if we look at, and they won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row in this spot specifically. That looks good to me. And if we go, I think you were probably going to bring up the Bundy side of it. Sorry, not Bundy. The Martin Perez side of it. I know we were talking about how Martin Perez does on the road from a full game perspective, right? 10-1 straight up here, also against the run line. And then if you go, what did I just bring up?
Just take a look at that first 5. The first 5, the split right there.
4-2-5 there. But I think I think it was dog, right? AD. All right, there you go. If we do road dog, it's 2-2-3 here, so it doesn't look as good as a full game perspective. But in my opinion, I think that's probably where you were going with this one. Austin, is that first 5 look towards the Twins here. Like you said, a lot of people are going to back Martin Perez in the spot from a surface level, but if you look a little bit deeper, it seems like the Twins first 5 might be the better play here.
Yep. Here's another angle that I wanted to bring up, and this one seems to be this one has performed really well, and you can start off with saying, hey, this is a favorite. So let's do F, and then their opponents season to date ERA, and there's a shortcut for that, so that'll be all capital STDS.
Oh, hey, you know what, Austin? Since Chris is in the chat, I see Chris in the chat. STDS ERA versus SERA. What is the difference between those two? Do you know? Because I
Not
couldn't
off the top
figure
of
it
my
out.
head, but I could
Yeah, I
probably
can't figure it
reverse
out either.
engineer it and figure it out.
Okay. Because I know STDS is season to date starter ERA, right? But
Yeah.
why is there what's the difference between that versus just starter ERA? Like I couldn't answer him either. He was asking me and I couldn't answer him.
No, that's a good question. And
But
maybe
I personally use STDS ERA as well.
Mm-hmm,
That's just the way that I do it as well. But yeah, okay. Since let's just go keep going. But I was wondering if you knew the answer to that.
No, but we'll figure that out and get him an answer. Less than 3. So this guy, this pitcher obviously has a great ERA that he's working with. And after the All-Star break, even though if you kind of expand it out to the full season, it works pretty well too. And a home team, so a home favorite playing against a pitcher that has a season date ERA of 3 or less
after the All-Star break. Nice.
Okay, yeah.
So Dylan Bundy right there.
Yep.
Against Martin Perez. And then 21-8 full game money line, 16-7-6 for the first 5. And you got, look at that, you got 2 games tomorrow too. So if you guys like this one, you can use it for tomorrow as well.
Well, the whole logic is, you're playing against a stud pitcher, but you're at home, and I think the fact that they're still a favorite is really telling. A lot of people are going to be betting the Rangers as a public underdog with Perez on the mound and fading Dylan Bundy, really. But you're looking at the line movement, there really hasn't been much line movement in favor of the Rangers, despite a heavy percentage of the bets coming in, at least from what Action Network is telling us, which doesn't always tell you the full picture, but I have no doubt that most of the public money is coming in on the Rangers.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, that's what a lot of people were saying earlier on Twitter that I saw.
So a nice contrarian bet with the Twins first 5. Even the first 5's cheaper just because of the pitching matchup. So I'm gonna cross my fingers and go with the here.
Yeah, I agree with that play. Twins first 5 run money line. That would probably be the way that I go as well. Scott Ganella, not gonna lie, I was almost gonna text Chris to just join us anyways today, because we did 3 people with YBB anyways. And I always love having Chris on. I should have just texted him, to be honest, but yeah, I was kind of like I was kind of slow this morning, really slow this morning. I didn't really do much. All right, so that's that. I think I want to make that. Is that an official play for you? Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be actually betting that one.
Yeah, I played it.
Okay. So we got and that is Twins first 5 money line. All right, so that's that game. One more real quick. Let's just do one more real quick, because I threw this out on the trends this morning. So the Mariners and the A's. And typically I like when the Mariners are road favorites anyways. They've been strong in that position. So we got Gonzalez and Irvin. Irvin, I think is a similar thing to what we were just talking about, how you have a pitcher that's pretty much a stud. But he's gonna end up being a dog, I think, in this, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he's a dog. Yeah, he's a dog. Yep. So you got a top pitcher who is a dog. You basically saying, like, well, if the other team's a favorite for some reason, there should be a favorite for a specific reason. And what we look at during the pitching splits here, we got Gonzalez 4-7, 4.87 ERA, 7.71 in the last 3 games. It's kind of like going in the wrong direction, right? And then over here, Cole Irvin, he's been dominant at home, but he's also been struggling, 0-3, 3.6. So, I mean, obviously, when you look at the ERA numbers, it's a big difference between the two. But also the big difference is the run support, because he's actually getting some runs here, even though he's giving up some, and he's not getting any at all. Another way to look at it also is looking towards those unders. Cole Irvin has been a strong under pitcher. If we look at the batting perspective here, A's at home against lefties are just under 200 here batting average. Mariners, pretty similar either side, right or left on the road, but a little bit better as far as run support against lefties here. And then if we go to give me the dog, I just want to bring up the couple trends that I brought, the trend that I brought up earlier, which is shoot, I just had it up too. 1 second. So we got team equals athletics. This doesn't look too crazy, but if you do the first game of the series, it turns into something that I think is actionable. I think I talk about this once in a while too on the show. When we go to SPODEVs, one of the first things that we see is the series analysis. And typically I like to look at first game of the series because I get to see how they switch from one team to another. Going through basically how they adjust, focusing on specific teams. So that's how I look at it. And when I go to Give Me the Dog and we pull that as the first game of the series, 0-9 straight up, 1-8 on the run line here. And you can see that they continue to struggle putting up runs on the board while their opponent, obviously not. The only issue here is you look at Cole Irvin, he's not on here too much. He's only on here once, which is a loss to the Angels out of, from all teams is 1-3. So to me, that's the way that I'm looking at it. I'm gonna go on the money line here, not the run line, but I can't talk anyone off of taking the Mariners here on the run line. They have a lot of like motivation to continue winning at a higher, they have to they want to make the playoffs this year. They made a lot of moves, and they're to me, in my opinion, there's a lot of motivation for them here to be able to take that. Looking at the chat, Mariners all day. Yeah, Mariners all day. Euphoria with the Mariners. Rockies. Who's the Rockies playing today?
Check out Mariners as away favorites. They've just been
that's what I'm saying. Mariners as road favorites is one of my favorite looks at it. I know I didn't bring it up, but yeah. 13-2 straight up. That's why I wanted to stick with the money line, not the run line. But yeah, definitely as road favorites, they're a strong team.
That's a nice look.
Yeah. So that's my other play today. Mariners money line, and you're getting it for cheap because you have Cole Irvin on the other side, so you're definitely getting a cheap price there. So those are the two that I want to give out today. Austin, I think you kind of pushed me towards the Twins first five money line prior to the show because I was looking in that direction, but I was like, I don't know. Yeah. And then you kind of talked me into it. So I'm going to go with those two.
It's one of those hold your nose plays, man. Just
yeah, so those two today for official MLB plays. And then we got this weekend. So this weekend I'm going to be out camping with my family. So I don't think I'm gonna have like cell service or Wi-Fi. Obviously, I'm not gonna have Wi-Fi, but so I'm gonna be posting my WNBA plays and my NFL preseason plays today before I leave. So for my sports memo clients, those are gonna be up, and then so I won't be having MLB plays this weekend because I can't run my queries and all that stuff. But today I'll have some MLB plays. But yeah, so with that said, I want to look into WNBA. One game that me and Austin was really, I think we're both looking at this one pretty at a similar angle. Aren't you scared of Gonzalez's recent performance? Nah, to be honest, no. So sorry. Let's go back one more time. I don't know if the Z. All right, Marco Gonzalez. All right. So the only reason why, Mitch, is just because it's Oakland. And so you got a lot. I think a lot of the. Why isn't it not up posting? It's Marco Gonzalez today, right?
Yes,
Why is it not
that's what I
posting
saw.
today's? Do they?
No, they have him shown as like a
Oh,
TBD in the
gotcha.
database,
Okay.
but yeah, it's in.
Okay. So if we look back last three, August 1, August 7, August 13. Okay. He gave up 6 runs here. I don't know how many innings he lasted, but he gave up 6 runs here. If we go to the other games, let me just double check. 7 and 13. So he only gave up. He went up past 5 innings, and he gave up 3 against the Angels, and then 13. It was 13, right? He did give up a few runs to the Rangers here. I don't know. To me, I don't think Oakland's a team that's going to be able to do what they did against them. Obviously, the Yankees is something that you would expect just because of them at the time. They were hitting pretty well. The Rangers, I believe they hit pretty well at on the road at home. I think they're at Hitters Park.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let me just make sure they're there. But yeah, no, I'm not scared. Mitch, that's the way that I'm looking at it. So let's go to WNBA. So we have a WNBA that's Give Me the Dog doesn't have the lines up yet, but if we look here, we can see some of the lines for the weekend. Liberty here -9. Liberty +9, and the totals moved up from 168 to 169.5. And that has to do with how the offenses did in that first game. And then on the other side, Phoenix, Mercury, Las Vegas, you have 167. So this is also going up. And then the Las Vegas line is at -16.5 now after opening at -15. Bro, hey Mitch, dude, that cover yesterday, because I had -4 on the Storm, that was terrible. The ending of that game was just terrible. We should have covered that one. But yeah, so aces here. The first game that we wanted to look at was Liberty versus Sky. Go ahead, Austin. I'll let you rock with this one. I'll bring up some stuff on Give Me the Dog.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I was on Liberty the last game, and that was a sweet ass win.
Yeah, that was good. I think we were both on Liberty. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
shit.
even though the market moved against us, I mean, I grabbed them at like +7.5, +8, and then the closing line was like +10. I'm like, shit, man, like totally did not read the market that way. But anyhow, screw the market because we cashed anyway. The trends prevailed. The handicap held true and accurate. So
100%.
gutsy performance by the Liberty to pull an upset on the road as nearly double-digit underdogs. But for this game, I'm looking at the Chicago Sky. I'm reversing course here because the zigzag theory is one reason, and it's a well-known theory in the NBA, and it holds true and consistent for the WNBA as well. And for those that don't know, I don't want to insult people's intelligence because it's pretty well known, but just the basic theory is the bet on a team who's lost outright as a favorite. They're going to be more motivated in the following game and bounce back to cover the spread. So if you take a look at some of the trends and the queries you got it pulled up here, but teams off a series loss as a favorite bounce back, and they've gone 26-8 straight up, 23-10-1 against the spread since the 2011 season.
2011. Okay.
Okay, so
14. Well, I did 14. I thought. All right, so playoffs here.
Okay.
Playoffs. Previous game is favorite as a loss.
Okay.
Is that correct?
What exactly we did in the previous? Okay. Let's just do. Instead of a uppercase P, just do a P.
Oh, lowercase.
Yeah, lowercase P, and then I think that's anyway. It's still pretty good. I don't know why we're getting some different results, but oh yeah, and then do PO team equals O team. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. 23-10-1 against the spread, 69.7% hit rate. If you add at home, after that. Ronald, if you can add and H. There you go. 13-0 straight up, 10-1 against the spread in this situation. So bounce back, zigzag. On top of that, just the Sky have been on a nice run in revenge spots lately. They're 14-4 straight up and 12-4-2 against the spread in revenge spots, dating back to September 5th, 2021. And just this year, after a loss, they're 9-2 straight up and 6-3-2 against the spread after a loss this season. So I've mentioned a couple times, like, look, if you look at their ATS record and overall metrics, they don't really align with their talent level. So, man, they've just been coasting and sandbagging, and I don't know what championship.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they've just been kind of cruising. Because if you look at how they haven't been double-digit favorites much at all this season, and it's probably because of that in a sense. Like they just, I think the books know that they kind of just cruise, so they're getting teams to, I guess, not fade them. Like they would win the games, but they won't win by margin.
No, yeah. Sense. Exactly. Yeah. But, now after an embarrassing loss at home and now on the brink of elimination from the playoffs, I expect them to turn it up a notch and come out hot, come out strong, and actually give a shit. And I think they should be able to cover by margin. Liberty showed that they were the younger, hungrier team, and they've been doing really well as large underdogs this entire season. And, Ionescu, scores at will and was really an X factor in the series as I had anticipated. But, man, they shot really well from the three. I think 44% from the three, hit 11 threes, which is a couple above their season average. And, I just don't see them replicating that performance, especially on the road against a superior team. And so I was able to play around with some systems and some trends. And I look, since the 2014 season, teams that shot greater than 40% on the road or more on the road behind the arc in their previous playoff game, they follow that up going 13-27 against the spread in the following game. So just kind of affirms the hypothesis that, they can't replicate these shooting performances twice in a row, especially on the road. So
I mean, we look at that in the NBA too. When you see a team shooting like 56% from the field in the previous game, you typically don't see them in that sense to come back and shoot 56% again, regardless of if it's the same defensive team, or regardless if it's the same opponent or not. I did bring up, so we did look at how the Sky did against teams that they lost to as favorites. So I wanted to look on the other side to see how Liberty do after winning as a dog outright. And it is the opposite way, which is what we want to see, right? 1-7 straight up, 2-5-1 against the spread, losing by a margin of close to 11 points. So that's what we want to see. I think Scott, Liberty moving in Liberty favor down to 8.5. That kind of just gives us some value, right? Austin, I mean, like, we talk about it a lot, and we've done this a lot also on our show where we go against the line movement and still cash. In the first game, it went the other way, maybe like 3 points from open, or two, at least 2.5 points from open.
Oh yeah.
And we still were able to win that one. And we've done it multiple times when myself and Chris and you have capped WNBA here, especially with totals going the opposite way. We would still win those as well. So to me, I think because of the market that the WNBA is, everybody focusing on MLB mid-season, or getting ready for the postseason, and the NFL ramping up. WNBA is once again going to the back burner, and the market really is still small, and it's smaller than it was just a couple of weeks ago when it was only two sports that people were wanting to focus on. I bet you there's more handle on NFL preseason than it is in the WNBA playoffs. That's just my opinion. So. Yeah, I'm okay with the move. I think that gives us a little bit more value. So I agree with this play. I like the Sky here, and that's probably going to be one of my premium plays as well for the sports mobile clients.
I'll go ahead and add. I do like the full game, but I think the first half is also a great look too.
Yeah.
So if you look at the Liberty first half net rating, it's minus 9.2 points, the net rating for the season. So that's 10th in the league. I mean, they do a lot of their damage in the second half, where they're second overall in the second half net rating at 5.2. So yeah, if you wanted to bring it up.
So the Liberty minus 9.2 here.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever look at it from a home road split?
Yeah. So I do.
So it's pretty. That's good. That's a good sign that it's pretty similar, whether or not they're at road or on the road or at home.
That's right. And then the second half is when they really do their damage. You look at their second half splits, and no home road splits, but just the second half in general. They're second overall in the league, which is
plus 5.2.
wild. No, I think they got off to these slow starts and just make a push later in the game, either for cover, backdoor cover, or just with the way that they shoot threes, they're able to knock these leads down pretty easily. But nonetheless, I still think Sky's going to cover the full game. But I'm diversifying some of my bet and put it on the first half, just because I think there's an advantage there as well with the Sky revenge, zigzag, angle, plus just their overall splits in the first half.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Was there any other game? I know we're almost at time because we got to cut out, but was there any other game that you wanted to look at, WNBA game that you wanted to look at before we go?
Not really. I mean, there's only the Aces and the Mercury out there, and you're working with a 16-point spread, so it's
yeah. I think we were just talking right before the show about Skylar Diggins and her news that maybe she's not done for the season, but I think she is done. I don't know what that news was all about, but I don't think she's going to be playing. So that's probably why the line. I mean, no Taurasi, no Diggins Smith. They're probably going to lose by a similar margin. The last game they lost by 16. I think the closing line was 16. But if you had the opening line at minus 14, you probably you obviously you would have cashed. But I think the way to look at this one here, I think Phoenix used up all their energy in that first half in that game one, and they still got routed. I think this second game comes around, no key players. I think Aces roll that first half. They're probably going to cover that double-digit mark in the first half, because I think the first half line is at minus 9, minus 9.5. In my opinion, the Aces should roll this one pretty easily.
I can't argue with that, man. Yeah,
there's no way that I see Mercury even fighting for this, just based off of how their team is, the team makeup is right now. I know it's like a crazy ass line. I don't know if I'm gonna bet the full game, but I don't doubt that the Aces will be up by double digits at half.
You make a good point, man. I mean, they came out, the adrenaline with the Mercury, the whole missing players theory. They came through, and they kept up with the Aces in the first half. But you saw them kind of fizzle off in the second half, while Aces shook off some of their rust or the jitters that they had, and they just pulled away at the end. So second game. On
Twitter too, I said if they're gonna stay close in the first half to take the Aces in the second half, Aces did cover that second half line, because I know I got it at minus 9, and they covered it by a single point, but they covered it all in that fourth quarter, like literally at the end, because I think they tied. I think they only scored 10 points each or something in the third quarter, if I remember correctly, and then they ended up blowing them out in the fourth quarter to actually cover that line. So it was kind of scary for a little bit, but they came through and covered that minus 9 all in the fourth quarter. In my opinion, they're done. I mean, Mercury's just done. I think that kind of shows where they're at as far as how they're going to continue to play this series. And it's only a 3-game series here in the first round. They know they're not going to win. There's not going to be a lot of effort on their side, in my opinion.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of pissed. I took minus 14, and it was a little sidebar, but when the news first came out, when Skylar and Taurasi were out, and we knew about Skylar, but Taurasi was kind of a surprise there. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take trying to max out as much of minus 14 I can get, and then kind of, come back and try to middle it. Well, I middled it at 16. At least I still won the bet and not lost any money the other way, but I was pretty close. If I waited till plus 17, I would have hit this nasty middle and just
Yeah, that would have
I'm
been
pretty happy
crazy.
about that. But anyways, just
Yeah.
wanted to share that.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that's the way that I'll probably be going. I'm gonna do my write up and all that stuff after the show. But yeah, I'm gonna be heading out to camping this weekend. So I don't know if I'm gonna have anything on Sunday, but I'm prepping everything for today and tomorrow. With that said, I'll just do a quick recap of what we just talked about. Where is it at? Recap. The recap is there. We did Twins first five money line, Mariners full game money line, and then the WNBA for tomorrow is gonna be the Sky -9. I see -9, but someone said -8.5. Oh, it's going up. All right, maybe I misinterpreted what that guy said. But yeah, -9 is what I have. So those are the three plays for today's show. Austin, anything to promote before we cut out?
No, nothing. Just check out my Dub Club link in my profile. Start marketing it a little bit more in the upcoming days, especially with the NFL season coming up. I'm going to be sharing some excerpts and trends and stat sheets from my model in that newsletter, and that's the one I just showed you, Ronald. So
Yeah.
I think it's got some pretty good stuff on it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Check it out.
Yeah, super excited for you to start that venture. And for me, like I said, not gonna have trends this weekend. Not gonna have. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna have any cell service. So hope everyone has a profitable weekend. This is the end of the show, guys. Thanks to all who tuned in on YouTube and on Twitter. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button before you bounce. Make sure you check out the links in the description as well. And as always, I have to end with this. Please remember, whether you fade us or follow us, it's on you to make that call. Good luck on all your action. Until next time, peace.